So today we're going to focus on finding the surface area for pyramids. Surface area is kind of like perimeter for 2D shapes in that it measures the outside. Excuse me, class. So we are finding the area of the outside of this pyramid. Now, a pyramid is made up of two different kinds of shapes. This year we'll just talk about a square pyramid, but what did you say? Shout out to Sean. What is it made up of?
Square and a triangle.
Square and a triangle. You're on the World Wide Web. All of your geniuses out there. Awesome. So we're basically just finding the area for a square and the triangles around the side. So that's what goes together to make up the surface area. Here is your formula. And I wanted to make sure that it matched the formula that was on your 8th grade formula sheet, the one that Virginia gives you, because you will have this when you take your quizzes, your tests, and even your SOL. For you guys, in this month, you'll be taking it. 23 days. So here's our formula for surface area. 1/2 times that like cursive shaped L. Does anyone remember what that means? It's up there if you forgot. Slant height. So I want you to think about something that is slanted. It's like would be your height if you didn't drink a V8. Y'all remember those V8 commercials? Yeah, when they knock you upside the head, and then people were, I always wondered how they did that, what special effects they used to make people walk slanted. But it's the slant height, that's kind of like that, I don't know what else to call it other than slanted measure on these pyramids, because remember they come up to a point, so the sides are not straight up and down triangles, they're slanted inward. It's different from the straight up and down height. We'll talk about that when we talk about volume. And then P stands for the perimeter of the base. So I want you to write all of that down because I want you to know what it's the perimeter of. It's not the perimeter of the triangles, it's the perimeter of the base. And then that uppercase B, okay, it's kind of confusing because when we think area, we want to see an A. But the uppercase B is the area of the base. So really it's all about the base. We want to find the perimeter and the area for the base. Then we're going to find the slant height, and then we're always going to divide it by 2 or multiply it by 1/2. That looks a lot like a triangle to me. Whenever there's kind of a triangular shape, we always have to do something with 1/2. Okay. I need my student in the back to put their head up. Even though I'm recording, I'm still going to have you put your head up because it's important to me. I don't want you to miss this. So here's our first pyramid. They've given you measures that you need, measures that you don't need. So remember I was talking just a little while ago about the height, that straight up and down height. That's 39. We can't use that for surface area. So I'm actually going to put an X through it. It's in yellow, so it's kind of tough for you guys to see, but I'm Xing the height because I can't use that. I need the slant height. Okay. And the slant height is 45 centimeters. That's what I want because that's going to measure how tall that triangle is. And because I'm interested in the outside, I'm interested in the triangle. So I'm going to have you circle the measures that you're going to use. And let me see if I can move this screen so that I can do that. So I'm not going to be interested in the height. Here's my slant height. I'm going to put a little L next to that. That's supposed to be a cursive L. And then these two measures I'm going to use to both find the area of the base and the perimeter of the base. So I need 73 centimeters. It's a square, so that's why it's like deja vu. We see 273 centimeters. And then I'm going to need the slant height. So our formula, and I'll have to clean this up so it doesn't come all at once. Where did I get 0.5 from? What does that have to do with our 1/2? So we want to make this calculator friendly, so I went ahead and turned that into a decimal. And what is 45? Do you remember what we labeled that?
The height.
The slant height. So this was our cursive L, our slant height. Because it's a square and all four sides are the same, the perimeter for our square is going to be found by taking 73, and instead of adding it 4 times, we're going to multiply it by 4. Because to find the perimeter for a square, you add all 4 sides together. They're the same. Let's work smart, not hard, and just multiply it by 4. So I'm going to draw a square. That's the bottom. This is 73. This is 73. This side is 73. Imagine you're looking the bottom of your pyramid. And then for our base, it's going to be 73 times 73. Because that's how you find the area for the bottom of that square, the bottom of that square pyramid. And then we'll grab a calculator and do that. So order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we're going to do all of that multiplication on the left of that addition sign. Do the multiplication on the right of that addition sign. And then add those two products together. Okay, so for our next example, and we're going to do some highlighting to highlight the measures that we need. So grab your highlighter, and we're going to need the slant height. That's that 5.2. So highlight this measure and draw a little arrow to 15.2. I said 5.2. Draw a little arrow to 15.2 so you know that's what you need. And then I want you to highlight, whoops, backspace. I want you to highlight the outline of the square at the bottom. And then if you want to highlight 16.9 on both of those sides, you may do that as well. Okay. Yeah. We're recording, and that has nothing to do with math. So, when we get to showing our work for this, just a reminder, where's that 0.5 coming from? What does that have to do with our 1/2? And then where's that 8 coming from? That was the slant height. Or is this a different question? This wasn't the one we were looking at. There it is. Sorry about that. Where is that 4 times 16.9 coming from? The base. What about the base? The 4 sides, the perimeter of the base. And then 16.9 times 16.9, that is the what for the base? 16.9 times 16.9 is the area for the base. Yes. And that's your formula. It looks like a lot. It is a lot. But you're just plugging things in. Once you know that you need the perimeter for the base and the area for the base, those are two pretty easy things to find. The slant height they're going to give you, and you always multiply it by 1/2. So please go ahead and grab your calculator, multiply everything on the left of that addition sign, everything to the right of that addition sign, and then lastly we're going to add those two products together. And then because this is area, it's going to be meters squared. So when we add those two products together, 799 and 37/100 meters squared. What if I asked you to round this to the nearest tenth? What would it be if we rounded it to the nearest tenth? Nearest tenth, this is the tenths place. The 4, because that 7 is 5 or above, so we're going to give 3 a shove. Make it 4. Okay, This one I'm going to get you started on, and then I'm going to give you some time to do this one and the fourth example on your own, and then we'll check them together. So really we need three things. We need to find the perimeter of the base. So I'm going to have you highlight the square at the bottom. I'm not going to be able to do it as neatly as you will. So we need to find the perimeter of that and then the area of that. So remember, perimeter is 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, or 7 times 4. The area is 7 times 7. Which is the slant height, 7.5 or 8? 8. 8's the slant height. So I'm going to highlight this as well. And plug them into your formula. All right, so when we multiply those numbers together, you should have gotten those two products, 112 and 49. And we're going to add those products together. You should have gotten a total surface area of 161 centimeters squared.
Is that the last one? Oh, no, it's
You can tell me because you're looking at them, right? And then finally, in our last pyramid, these no decimals even here, so they really helped us. Grab your highlighter, highlight that square at the bottom, because we're going to have to find the perimeter and the area for that square at the bottom. So for the perimeter, 9 times 4, or 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9.
Sound like the seagulls from Finding Nemo.
It does. It does. It'll sound a little bit like Ellen. And then you're going to find the area for that square at the bottom. And which of these is our slant height, 10 meters or 11 meters? 11 meters. The height of that triangle when it's been slanted inward to meet at that point at the top. So these are your plugins for your formula. Again, 0.5, that's that 1/2. Our slant height was 11. Where's that 4 times 9 coming from? What about the base? 4 sides. It's the perimeter of the base. And then for the area of the base, we're going to multiply 9 times 9. We'll add those products together, and you get a total surface area of 279 meters squared.